Welcome back. Economics N4 Module 3 Part 2, and we're still busy with household choices, and now we're going to do the substitution effect. What can we remember from the last video? The last video said the substitution effect is when two goods are played off against one another. Which one can be substituted? Which one can be exchanged for the other one? So if the one good is not available, the other needs to be slotting in. For example, if then the price for, let's say, in the butter goes up, right? The demand for margarine will go up. Why the substitute? Butter and margarine. Now, some young ladies usually differ from me, but for me, it's not Rama. It's butter and fat spread or medium spread and that kind of effect. But when the two products are substituting each other, if the price increases in the one, you will have an increase in the other. And that's substitution effect. Because I will not buy the one that's so expensive, I'll rather go for the other one. Pharmacies work on the best concept of substitution. They work on the generics. So if the original is a bit pricey, they will go for the very same one that has the same effect, which we call, exchange it for the generic. So that's a substitution effect. Let's see what the slide says. The part of the change in quantity demanded that is caused by substitution of one good for another is called substitution. This results in a movement along an indifference curve. Along the indifference curve. When there's change demand, the curve shifts. But when there's a result of a movement, it will go along the curve. We will go at the end of part 3, we will touch on this specific again. So let's just move on. Consumption has to be changed to equate the marginal revenue to the new price ratio of the two goods. Right. Income effect, the part of the change in quantity demanded that is caused by a change in real income is called the income effect. So what we are going to concentrate on in this specific slide is when the quantity demanded changes because there's a change in income. That's your income effect. Income effect is caused because there was a change in the quantity demanded due to a change in your income. The price change also changes real purchasing power. Remember, when I did this specific action, you will have buying power. So if you have an increase in your income, you have more spending. So you can buy more of a specific product if that product is a normal good. If it's an inferior good, irrespective if you're increasing income, there will be a slighter decrease in your demanding. Now, the first one is if there's a fall in price. The following figure will dictate if the price of a good X falls. The budget line rotates because there's an unchanged Y axis. Because if X drops, you're going to buy more of X and not of the other, the substitution effect. But if X increase, there will be a decrease in the other product. The flatter the slope means that the relative price of X and Y has fallen. And we'll see this in the following when we get to the graph. The consumer was originally maximizing utility X and Y. In figure 3.3, after the fall in the price of X, the new utility maximizing choice was X2 and Y2. The substitution effect is the movement of the original indifference curve to point B. Substitution effect. What would you exchange for one if the price fall or increase? we go. X1, Y1. Old budget line, new budget line. So that was an increase in old budget. What was your income then to be affording that specific X1 and Y1? And then you're going into a new budget where you're going to increase your products that you are buying. Substitution effect. Income increase. Income increase. You'll have your income effect. What does it say? If the individual had to stay on U1, the indifference curve U1, with a new price ratio, the consumer would choose B, since that is the point where the marginal revenue is equal to the slope. I'm going to leave you there. The marginal revenue is this little dotted line here. It is equal to the slope of the new budget. And that is why we can say that the U1 on point B, that was your choice that you were making. Staying on the same indifference curve is the same as holding real income constant. If you want to make the same choices, indifference meaning mapping out the demand for your products. Substitution, how many of the products you are willing to exchange. The consumer buys more of X. Income effect, we've drained this. The movement from point B to X2 to Y2, this slides are just explaining the previous graph. Okay? Because price X falls, but nominal income remains the same. Nominal income remains the same and price drops now. The individual's real income increases. Because now the prices drop, the demand will also drop because the income remained the same. What specific product is this? You've guessed correct. Inferior product. Because you will buy less irrespective whether there was an increase or a decrease in your income. But because your prices dropped, you will going to have a certain demand. Prices fall, demand increase, income, as an income increase of a normal good, you'll buy more. Inferior good, you'll buy less. An increase in price will shift the budget line as shown in figure 3.4, which we'll see now. And the substitution effect holding real income constant is the move of U2 from X2, Y2 to point B. Okay? This slide is also just explaining the curve. X1, Y1, and that will be a specific on the old budget. You'll find in 4 candidates, this will be also part of the module 4. So we are actually combining 2 of these modules with a specific graph, where you have the indifference curves and the choices that you have to make. Let's consolidate. Summary. In those two graphs that look so intrigued with your new budget line, your old budget line, and the new choices of substitution and income effect, as shown in those two figures, the substitution and income effects work in the same direction with a normal good. Remember, the price stays the same, the demand increase as your income increase. Normal good. Your demand increases is the same when the income increases. Price stays the same. Normal good. When the price falls, both the substitution and income effects result in more being purchased. When the price increases, both the substitution and income effects result in less being purchased. It's actually very good that this is a follow-up on the previous video, because now we can actually underpin and underscore what we've said about normal goods, inferior goods, luxury goods, and necessities. Consolidating more, this provides the rationale for drawing downward sloping demand curves, because as the price increases, the demand will decrease, or as the price decreases, you want to buy more. You're going to demand more. That's why the slope will be downward sloping, and I clearly remember I said from the left top corner to the right bottom corner. If either substitution or income effects are large, the change in quantity demanded will be large with a given price change. If the substitution and income effects are small, the effect of a given price change in the quantity demanded will also be small. This kind of analysis also offers a number of insights about some commonly used economic statistics. I'm not going to go into the Griffin and the Ayrton's theories. It's not recommended for your syllabus, and we will not want to confuse you at this stage. With inferior goods, the substitution effect is the income effects work in the opposite directions. The substitution effects results in decreased consumption for a price increases and increased consumption for a price decreases. The income effect results in increased consumption for a price increase and a decreased consumption of a price decrease. Figure 3.5 would be the next diagram or graph. Shows the two effects for increase in price and the substitution effect holding real income constant is shown by the move from x1, y1 to both on the B point. I'm glad you are taking this in as we go along. I'm pausing as we go along because I want you to grasp immediately as to what was just said. What is meant by this income effect, the indifference curve, as to the choices between product X and product Y, how much of product X, how much of product Y. When there's a change in price, there's a change in income, and how does it affect your demand? Old budget line, new budget line. The income effect reflects the reduced purchasing power due to the price increase. Since X is an inferior good, the decrease in income results in an increase in the consumption of X, shown by the move from point B on your indifference curve 1 to the new utility maximum Y2 and X2 on the indifference curve. Since X is less, then the price increase in X results in a decrease in the consumption of X. And that's the inferior good. Remember, it works on a complete different scenario. Normal goods, same direction. Inferior good, different direction. As said in the previous, one of the previous videos. That I will not concentrate on, but that was the paradox that I alluded to earlier on. The income effect of a price change is strong enough with an inferior goods. It is possible for the quantity demanded change in the same direction as price change. That was a substitute goods. Can you imagine what will happen if the goods were complement? Meaning, if you have to buy one product, you need to buy the other as well because it complements each other. Blades and razors go together. Cars and tires go together. Can't drive a car without the tires. A shirt and a tie go together if it's a formal tie, a formal shirt, etc. And so we can go on, like coffee and donuts. I don't like to drink my coffee without having a donut. Coffee and creamer, etc. Complement goods are goods that go together. Substitutes are goods that use essentially the same purpose. Two goods such that have price one increases the demand for the other would also increase. If the price of one good decreases and the demand for the other good will decrease. So if the price of A decrease, the demand for B will decrease. This is on page 42. Individual demand curve is a graphic representation of the good that you are demanding at a given price, holding all other factors constant, whether it is the price of your product X, price of the product Y, and preferences or tastes, as well as your income. Demand curves limit the study to the relationship between quantity demanded and the changes in the price of that good. That is just the foresight as to what figure 3.8 or diagram 3.8 would be all about. And we're going to stop here. Here we have our budget lines. First one, budget line with product. Yes. The bottom one, price X. If you have price X here, you'll have X demand here with price there. Concludes 3, 2, and 1. These three choices show that the quantity demand for X increases as the price of X falls. Panel B shows how the three prices of quantity choices can be used to construct the demand curve. Then that is the slide that it explains or underpin or underscore the diagram that was shown earlier on. Shape of a demand curve will be the next part, and we will just then conclude on this module 3, and I'm looking forward to give you more information about these two effects. Thank you very much for joining this session.